As we can see here, this is a tweet from Drama Alert saying DarkViperAU is copyright striking anyone that posts this video of him freaking out in Among Us. So please don't retweet, download, and repost this video.
I feel like runs around the entire map to come to O2. And I'm like, I had nothing to say. I was literally speechless. I did not speak the entire time because I was so confused why we were still in the game. I have never been this mad at a person in the entirety of my life.
Yeah, I can tell, bro. I mean, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with caring about the success of your channel and shifting your channel for that. I guess I understand some viewers being frustrated by that, but ultimately, if DarkViperAU wants to change his content and, you know, he thinks that he can do certain things to better his channel analytics, I don't really see a reason for him not to do that, right? I see no reason for him not to do that. I don't think he owes the fans anything. Well, he's got a bunch of channels. DarkViperAU, DarkViperAU Extras, Viper Rambles, ViperAU live streams. What are his analytics like? Why are people saying that his analytics are taking a hit? We'll check view stats. DarkViperAU. Here we go. So he's gotten 26 million views this month, which is excellent for a channel with 1.5 million subscribers. Is this mostly from shorts? How often is he posting shorts?
In the northern part of the map, there is a...
It's hard to tell how many views are from shorts versus how many views are from something else, basically. I mean, his videos seem to be doing pretty well. Certainly, shorts seem to be accounting for a lot of it, as well as old videos. But I mean, this video got 1 million views, almost, I guess 800,000 views a few weeks ago. This one got 150K. This one is a video where I'm in it. But the problem with watching long Dark Viper content is he might strike your channel if you watch it all, because he sees it as a watch party. Basically, he doesn't see it as fair use to watch a video and react to it, even if your reaction is additive to the content, right? And here's the thing, boys and girls. Here's the thing. Here's the stance I'm going to take, okay? Fair use, I think, is an important legal doctrine, and I'm glad it's established. And I am ultimately glad that Ethan Klein was able to defend it in court. That being said, my personal opinion on the way to handle the internet is that copyright law in the way that it was created is out of date. It's kind of silly. And ultimately, what I care about is if the content colloquially can be determined as transformative, okay? I think that whether or not a specific piece of content meets the 4 pillars of fair use, I don't particularly care as long as it's transformative in my view. And that argument only goes as far as if everyone involved is okay with it, you know? Let's take Aswin Gold, for example, okay? Aswin Gold, somebody who does a lot of reactions. I think his reactions are pretty good. You go to the Aswin Gold channel. Here he is. You can see their long reactions to videos. And he puts, quite a bit of time into making sure the videos he reacts to are content that he has something to add. But on the Aswin Gold Clips channel, if you watch a lot of these clips, he's not really adding much. Like, if you look at this video.
Now, future of memes is so bright. I saw this. Look at this. New AI tool replaced Little Yachty with Joaquin Phoenix. Look at this. Damn. Damn.
Like, is he really adding a lot to it by just saying damn? No. But ultimately, does it really matter when he's reacting to a meme? Does it really matter that much? I would say no. I would say it doesn't really matter. I would say probably nobody cares. And unless the person who made this meme has a problem with it, I also wouldn't really care about the reaction content. I don't really care, I don't think it really matters. If this person who made this meme, which itself, by the way, is an AI recreation with AI technology of another video, if he wants to strike this video and go through a legal process, he's within his right to do that. But I just don't really think that's productive for anything. Like, he's reacting to your meme. He's getting it more views. Here he has the Aswin Gold version at the end, right? And that applies with a lot of these clips that he reacts to. Like, it's not really technically transformative, but I feel like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care. And so the case for DarkViperAU when he struck Chud Logic is like, technically, legally, is he within his right to strike the content? Yes. But ultimately, like, what is the goal with doing that, right? What is the goal with doing that? Because because Chud Logic, whether or not his video meets the 4 pillars of fair use, he added to the video, right? He did watch the entire thing, but it's not a market replacement. It's not like people are going to go to Chud Logic to watch DarkViperAU. That's just not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. People are going to go to him to watch him on DarkViperAU and watch his reaction to him, There's absolutely no reason to watch Chud Logic over DarkViperAU. If you want to watch DarkViperAU, you'll just go watch him. So I don't know why he felt the need to take that video down. A lot of people think it's because he was just mad at him, basically. A lot of people think that. But once again, I haven't watched this video because I can't watch it on stream. And this is when I do most of my, topic research and shit like that. So that's why I haven't really gone over it. Here, Drop says, Dark Viper won't say the reason publicly. Actually, we have a post here first. DarkViperAU responded to this on Reddit. He said, I would appreciate you respect my privacy on this matter. This has not happened recently. It was a month ago. Is a month ago not recent? Is a month ago not something that happened recently, dude? I feel like that's pretty recent, no? If I wanted such things to be public, I would have made them so. It does not take much to lose me as a friend, but this is my decision and of no one's business but my own. Carl, retweeting and promoting such a false tweet from someone of the worst aspects of the online ecosystem is not surprising to me, but it is not appreciated. Speaking of that retweeted tweet, I spoke of some of the recent goings on vaguely in a ramble that is yet to release. While I'm stupidly willing to debase myself and roll around in the mud with these degenerates from time to time, a line is crossed when such things are brought into the real world. I will speak no more on these matters or engage with any of these people beyond striking any future reactions. So he's basically saying here, if you react to his stuff and he determines that it's not transformative in his mind, he will strike your content. The safety of myself and those I care about is paramount. So I'm not sure why he's saying that the safety of himself and the people he cares about is paramount. I would speculate that it's because there's a Kiwi Farms thread, and obviously Kiwi Farms allows doxing, so that may be the reason. But I don't really know. I will say, obviously, doxing is not good. I don't think doxing is cool. It obviously can put you at risk, but, you know, I have known multiple people who have been doxed as YouTubers, and nothing has happened to them. The majority of doxing, you know, it sucks. It's an invasion of privacy, but it's ultimately harmless in the end, as long as you don't publicize the dox and like, hey, everybody, look at this dox. You know, it's ultimately not that harmful unless you get swatted. But swatting is, you know, an entire other step, which most people are unwilling to do because they know that people like Swatistic went to jail for it. So now they're kind of, you know, tepid to really do that. But I don't blame Dark Viper for feeling scared or threatened if he did get doxxed. But striking any future reactions is pretty nuts. And that's why I'm thinking about making a video about this, because there's a lot that goes into this drama. Now, Carl Jobs responded to this saying, Dark Viper won't say the reason publicly because it's insanely petty. He knows it. I didn't quote that tweet because I agreed with it, which I don't. I quoted that tweet because it shows Dark Viper will waste immense time and energy on people who hate him. But in my case, someone close to him who he knows in the real world and who would actually be affected by his actions, he won't even bother spending 1 minute to let me know why he ceased a 6-year friendship. This is because Dark Viper is not a nice person in real life, in the real world. It's easy to seem moral when you live alone, have no family to support, have no relationship, and just argue philosophy with online trolls. But when faced with someone hurting directly in front of him, he cannot do the moral thing because he is an emotional toddler. Here Nick says, my tweet is literally a long drawn-out post saying Dark Viper is extremely insecure and unable to disengage from drama. Even if people disagree in the nuance of why he DMCA'd Chud Logic, it's an entirely reasonable opinion to hold given how poor his response has been. I'm not sure why this tweet and opinion needs to be disavowed, why he's acting like that tweet is slander, or why his audience is pretending it's misinformation. It's hardly even an argument. He dedicated hours and days and thousands of dollars to with the random nobody streamers, 10,000 view stream highlight out of an insecurity, and that snowballed into a huge wave of drama he can't handle. Carl Jobs says, your tweet claims that DV hired a lawyer because Chud's criticism made him feel bad. I don't believe that's the reason he hired a lawyer. I think it was more to do with his opinion that Chud stole his content. Now, Nick says, that's entirely fair if you think Dark Viper is telling the truth and perfectly okay to clarify. That being said, I think my opinion is reasonable. The attached image is Chud Logic's video as described by Dark Viper. I personally don't think he would have drafted an aggressive DMCA letter targeting both the stream highlight itself and the raw VOD, and then dedicated 4 to 6 months and thousands of dollars hiring a lawyer to get one of the videos taken down, even after YouTube kicked it back. Even in Dark Viper's direct contact with YouTube, he expressed fear that Chud would continue to make more content with him, make more content on him in the future, now claiming it would be defamation. I have a hard time believing this is still a fair use debate regarding an extremely short stream segment highlight from Dark Viper's channel, especially when the segment itself was Chud poking fun at Dark Viper, complaining that no one takes his React document seriously, and Jack Soames was repeating stuff he'd already said. This seems to be a major point of insecurity for him. Here we have Chud Logic's reaction. Yes, he talks a lot, but includes the entire video. And here we have a timeline. I think this is from Dark Viper's video where you can see basically all the times that I believe the pink is Dark Viper, and the whatever this is this purple or blue? I'm colorblind. This is basically where Chud was responding, is my impression. I mean, for this alone, like, once again, I don't particularly care if it qualifies as fair use. Like, I don't see why it's important to autistically protect your IP when all you're doing is streaming on YouTube, right? Like, it's not like it's a movie. He's just responded to you. Nobody is watching Chud Logic over Dark Viper. It's not like it's stealing his market share. I mean, the video had 10,000 views. Chud Logic has like 30,000 subscribers. Yeah. Dark Viper a year ago had another Reddit meltdown over Linus Tech. Jesus Christ, this guy can help her write paragraphs with people he doesn't like. Dark Viper is AU's response to the WAN show segment regarding his video. I described you as you appear to me in your past drama vids. Dude is a toxic drama queen masquerading as a decent level-headed guy. He comes across as a cool guy at first, but keep watching as the mask slips, lol. Exactly, you don't know me. I've been making content for over 10 years. I've produced, not including clips, literally thousands of videos and streamed for well over 10,000 hours. This is by far enough footage to make me appear however you like. I also have sleep issues, tinnitus, and Hashimoto's disease. Why is he even saying this? I'm going to have a few more bad days than most people, I suspect. Honestly, I find attention from other creators discomforting. Hell, I find speaking to other people partly discomforting, and maintain no IRL friendships and extremely few online ones with none of them being deep. I enjoy when people like my videos or talk about them, but I find people talking about me personally very distressing. Well, if you're streaming for 10,000 hours, people are probably going to talk about you personally in some way, no? A part of my mind is now permanently dedicated to stressing about the possibility of being mentioned on the WAN show again, especially as Linus has not responded by email. I'm now doubly worried that this interpretation of me and what I do will go along the same vein as what you have said here. I sincerely hope he says, oh, well, mistakes happen, let us move on, but I'm not the best at talking to people, and I really worry my email and the criticism he received in general might have made him angry. The amount of videos I've made about individual topics unrelated to gaming the past 5 years is maybe a dozen or so, and they are exclusively about things I'm very passionate about. People are complicated individuals and have conflicting motivations. I am no different. I have a strong sense of justice and fairness. I hate people who take advantage of others or when I feel people are being taken advantage of, whether they know it or not. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, I didn't like direct attention, so these feelings are permanently at war. It led me to not making a video about reaction content and instead releasing a rough script as a compromise between these feelings, and it bit me in the ass massively. It led me to also not releasing the video about Linus, but doing so when people urge me to do so. People who enjoy drama don't wait 3 months and carefully write scripts for 2 months to release response videos when big time creators talk about them in videos. This is just so, it's just so autistic. Like, why does he care so much about what people think about him in this regard? DarkViperAU confirms he abruptly cut off Carl jobs because Carl took a sponsorship with a company co-owned by Asmongold. Is that real? Carl and I spoke a few times last year, occasionally at parties. I considered him a trusted acquaintance in a similar business. I didn't consider disassociation noteworthy or cause for a Twitter tirade. Is why I never mentioned it. It's why it's clear we viewed our relationship differently. These things happen. They just thankfully don't happen on Twitter. This feels like schoolyard nonsense that I want nothing to do with. I will speak for the curious, as Carl seems quite keen to fire off tweet after tweet until the end of time. Dark Viper Australia copyright abuser confirms he has no friends. Only his mods know how much it hurts.
There was this one question he asked where he asked about like who I talk about. He asked who I talk to about this. Who do I bounce ideas off? And I said to him, like I don't talk to anyone really. And then I'm a bit of a loner because I, in some respects, consider myself to be an old dog who was kicked a lot when he was a young dog. And so I don't really trust anyone. I have no confidence.
This is very, very sad. I understand keeping your social circle small or not having a ton, or, you know, if you're spending all day in the computer, the job can get lonely, certainly, but he has no confidence. He has no one he's close with at all. How can you have no one you trust? If there's literally nobody that you trust, there probably is something wrong with you rather than everyone else. You might be kind of a schizo person. I mean, this is just very sad to listen to.
I just assume that everyone will eventually like work against my interests unless there's an explicit reason for them not to.
Who hurt this guy? Who this guy over? This is like extremely, it's just sad, man. It's just like you have no one you trust ever in life. That's an extremely sad way to go about life. Like you need people around you. I mean, this is part of the point of the 2Mad video, right? You need people around you to feel human, or else you're literally going to go crazy. You need to have some buddies. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to be delusional. You're going to believe things that are not true. You need someone to bounce ideas off of and be like, hey, am I crazy here? Are my feelings valid here?
I've just never really had anyone in my life that I can trust a lot. The closest thing I have now is my mods.
The closest thing I have now is my mods, dude. That's just dark. Listen, I think there's like one chat moderator I even have on YouTube, and I think it's Smaggle Daggle. If the only friend I had was my chat moderators, I would be insane. I would be so crazy. I would lose my mind. I would be mentally unhinged. I would do something horrible. You got to have friends around you. You need to have friends. You need to have friends, man. This is just very sad. J-Reg talks about this a lot and has very interesting thoughts on it.
But it's not the same thing, you know? Like if I'm going to talk to anyone about anything, it is my mods. But even them, I won't talk about like everything, you know? Because it's hard to trust a person you don't know in person and stuff, you know? But having my moderators, I realized like has been a lot better than what I had before, which was literally no one. You know?
That's very sad. That's just sad, man. What is chat saying to this? Trauma is wild like that. We're here for you, Matto, dude. That seems like a healthy way of looking at things. Rootin' tootin'. Is that a healthy way of looking at things? That doesn't seem like a very healthy way of looking at anything. That seems like a very dark way of looking at anything. Having no friends, that's just sad, man. I like feel bad for him after seeing that. Okay, I do believe I know why DarkViperAU banned me, so I'll just say it and he can correct me if I'm wrong. At the end of February, I released a video which had a Starforge PC sponsor in it. Immediately after I released this video, DV banned me. Starforge is partly owned by Asmongold, who DV doesn't like because of his reaction content, so DV banned me because I promoted Asmon's company. Wow. What? That's the actual reason? I had very recently spoken with DV on the phone before this, and we were friends right up until this video. It certainly has nothing to do with drama. DV's Reddit is dredging up from years ago. DV and I have even discussed this in person together. For my part, I'm getting sued and I have a family to support and consider, so there's no way I was going to turn down the financial security of this sponsored deal and a much needed PC upgrade. Naturally, DV didn't enter the equation when it came to accepting this deal. I think the pettiness of DV's actions is why he couldn't bring himself to tell me the reason. That is insane. You block someone because they took a sponsorship you didn't like, and it's not even like it's like some like horribly scummy sponsorship, which even if it was, you would still want to have a conversation with that person rather than just drop them as a friend immediately. But the reason he dropped him is because he was sponsored by a PC company that Asmongold happens to own. What is going on? What is going on? No wonder this guy has no friends, because he thinks that people acting against his interests, he thinks that keep in mind, he said he has no friends because he assumes everyone will act against his interests. The reason that his interests, he believes, are being acted against is because Asmongold took a sponsorship, or sorry, Carl Drops took a sponsorship from Starforge PCs, which is owned by Asmongold. That is unreal. He's a massive hypocrite and giant baby. He's a terrible friend in person from what he did, especially with how he only responded to a thread about it on Reddit, not privately after hearing about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, given everything else we've learned about the guy and how he acts both behind the scenes and publicly, this isn't surprising, but I'm sorry someone you thought was a friend was so petty in the end. He's really living up to the snake title in his name. Same guy that said his only friends were his mods threw away probably the last and only other good person he knew for stupid reasons. I tend to agree with Dark Viper on reaction content, and his video series on the matter is excellent. However, I think he's been bashing his head against the argument for so long that his rational arguments have transitioned into irrational lashing out. It's a critical nobody's take on Twitter. This is terrible. This is like an extremely lonely person who seems, I mean, relatively insecure, and also is like autistically obsessed with fair use and reaction content to the point that he's willing to strike someone who did actually add to the content because he believes it isn't fair use. Like, is there any benefit to that? Is there really any benefit to doing something like that at all? And this is why I can't watch a full Dark Viper video on stream, by the way, because he'll probably strike it if I react to it. I can, however, show you guys funny clips. As you can see here, this is a tweet from Drama Alert saying DarkViperAU is copyright striking anyone that posts this video of him freaking out in Among Us. So please don't retweet, download, and repost this video.
It like runs around the entire map to come to O2. And I'm like, I had nothing to say. I was literally speechless. I did not speak that entire time because I was so confused why we were still in the game. I have never been this mad at a person in the entirety of my life.
Yeah, I can tell, bro. I don't think I've been as mad at this person the entirety of my life.
I apologize. I'm still a little new at the game.
Dude, look at his face. Look at his face when he turns his head. Look at that. Look at the psychopathic stare. Look at how angry he is. He's so mad.
If you don't even know how to win the game, why are you playing?
I do. I'm just sorry.
Since this clip has once again been brought up on Twitter by someone who's disingenuous, whatever, I've now said about striking this video.
He's striking. If you tweet a clip of him, he'll strike you. If you tweet a clip and he feels that you're disingenuous, he'll probably strike you on Twitter. Unless this edit is taken out of context or something. This is like insane. This is absolutely insane. It's not even like, he doesn't even seem mad, like Jinxie mad or like I Show Speed mad, where they're clearly playing it up for the camera. He seems like he's genuinely just raging. Like this is what happens when you have no friends, I guess. This is just what happens when you have 0 friends. I feel like bad for, like, he needs help. He needs like therapy or something. Apparently he has Hashimoto's disease. What is this? Chronic autoimmune disease that affects your thyroid gland. It's a disorder that happens when the immune system attacks the thyroid, a butterfly-shaped gland at the base of the neck just below the Adam's apple. The immune system causes the death of the cells in the thyroid that make hormones. The disease usually causes a drop in the amount of hormones the thyroid makes. The condition is called hypothyroidism. So he has this thing. He has Hashimoto's disease. Does that does that affect your testosterone? Does Hashimoto's affect test production? I assume it does. I assume it would affect your testosterone production if it's affecting your hormones. Thyroid hormone deficiency affects all tissues of the body, including multiple endocrine changes that alter hormone growth. Blah, blah, blah. Primary hypothyroidism is associated with a hypogonadotropic hypogonadism, which is reversible with thyroid hormone replacement therapy. Okay, so it can affect tests, is what this article is saying. Look up if men can get it. Well, apparently it's more common in middle-aged women, but he does have it. If correct me if I'm wrong, they're talking about hypogonadism. Isn't that when you get like the big nipples because you don't have enough tests or you have too much estrogen? Okay, I meant hypogonadism. So this is what's happening to Dark Viper, I guess, according to my rough Google search and my limited understanding of anything medical or scientific. He's looking like this, I guess, with a shirt off. This is what I'm being told. This is my understanding that without the wife beater on, this is sort of the situation we're looking at. Kind of dark. That gynecomastia. Okay, yeah. Gynecomastia, sorry. So I believe British Runner made a video where he went over all of the old Dark Viper drama from like the UTO days. And I think he's basically doing a series about him, this British Runner guy. I did watch this video and it was pretty interesting. Although admittedly, some of the drama I'm kind of contextually unaware of because I just wasn't watching a lot of this old GTA drama because I don't care. Here he made a video about what happened with Chud Logic, which is probably going to be the best video to watch to fill you guys in on what happened. And I'll probably be doing my own video about all of this where I put everything together into like a succinct video covering all of it. But here's a video basically covering what happened with DarkViperAU and Chud Logic. And this guy, he gives his take.
So in the last few days, a new situation has been brought to my attention of a YouTuber that I actually have watched for a few years on and off, mind you, where last year he had been in communication with his lawyer to strike down one of Chud Logic's videos, where Chud had streamed his reaction and commentary to one of DarkViperAU's videos regarding Jack's films. However, if all of this had happened a year ago, why cover it? Well, that's because the DMCA only just recently came through, as throughout 2023, DarkViperAU's lawyer had been so incompetent that they had failed to file a DMCA in the
Hi, the Rambles Podcast. Thank you for your response. You reviewed it and provided updates below. Yeah, this is the thing. Dark Viper, at one point, he posted Chud Logic had posted basically this like funny screenshot, which was of Dark Viper trying to claim his video. And this is before the lawyer thing, right? And it was basically, when you file a copyright takedown, you're supposed to talk about how the video itself needs to be taken down, right? You're supposed to talk about how it doesn't constitute fair use. That's what they want to see when you're trying to take a video down on YouTube. Instead, what Dark Viper did is he spent a lot of that form basically explaining how he knows a lot about fair use and has personally researched it a lot, and he's like a fair use genius. Therefore, they should take it down. That's basically part of the explanation. So YouTube got back to him. They were like, listen, I don't really see how you're really explaining how this doesn't constitute fair use.
First place, not correctly filling out the form. So the lawyer was frustratingly having to go backwards and forwards with the automated YouTube response team for what seems like an entire year because they lacked the intelligence to fill out a form correctly. However, upon correctly filling out the form, YouTube had committed the ultimate sin, the biggest troll to Dark Viper's ego, when they went against his wishes and sent the corresponding notice to Chud, mainly because they need to notify that Dark Viper has filed a DMCA against him. We also stipulate that this correspondence not be shared in part or in full with Chud Logic and must be kept confidential. We believe it is highly likely that Chud Logic will use copies of any correspondence to create further content on his channel that may be either A, defamatory in nature, or B, will lead to further infringement.
I guess what I'd be confused about is why during all of this, if the lawyer is saying it's defamatory, why didn't he just file a defamation lawsuit instead of taking down the video? Like, if he thinks he's being defamed, I feel like being defamed is a greater issue than copyright infringement, so why not just file a defamation lawsuit, right? Why not just do that?
Infringement of our client's work. Each outcome would be the detriment to our client. We note that the takedown correspondence between our client and YouTube with respect to the first infringing work was subsequently used by Chud Logic to create further offensive content, which included copies of the takedown correspondence and reference to our client being a copyright abuser, which may give rise to an action in defamation. On this point, we referred to the following videos for your reference only. Number 1, XXX. Should YouTube breach the confidential nature of this correspondence, our client reserves all rights he may have at law or in equity to take appropriate legal action against both YouTube and Chud Logic.
So they're basically threatening to sue YouTube. It's like a very autistic drama. And the worst part about all of this, dude, the worst part, honestly, about this entire thing, is just kind of boring. Like, it kind of sucks to talk about. Every time I try to get into this, I'm like not that interested because it's just boring. Even though Dark Viper is obviously like in the wrong. Like, it gives me a little brainworm where I'm like, this sucks. This is bad content, you know? Like, at least Tipster is funny. At least Tipster is funny, right? And that's why the Tipster thing is epic to go over, and that's why I did that video, right? The thing with Dark Viper is, like, he is autistic, he does rage, but it's also just kind of, like, sad. It's just kind of like a sad thing, you know? You look like you work at BuzzFeed. Leave me alone.